morning, Miss McDade.
Good morning.
Morning, Rama.
Morning. This target practice?
Well, if I didn't, they wouldn't leave me any flowers. What about stopping for a drink or perhaps a cup of tea?
Oh, it's a temptation, Mr. Ransom, but they're expecting me back at the hospital.
In other words, one of my patients has simply made up his mind to die if Miss McDade isn't there every hour she can spare, out of the 24 she already works.
Very well, but next time I won't take no for an answer.
I'll hold you to that. Try and persuade Major Safti to take some rest.
There goes a great and good woman.
Yes, there's no one quite like her.
Now, there's one of the mysteries of India I'll never be able to understand. What's that? That stringless quartet over there. They never seem to listen or to say anything. But I know perfectly well that by tomorrow morning, my innermost secrets will be the common talk of Ranchipur.
But of course, you have nothing to hide.
Brandy and soda?
Yes, thanks. No, I don't think I better. I may have to operate this afternoon.
Oh, just a drop. Steady as the hand, see? Well,
Then there's a conference with the Maharaja at the palace.
in this heat, Major, your energy appalls.
Why, it isn't hot. It's only 109 in the shade. Aren't you ever going to finish it?
Is there any hurry?
You haven't done a stroke since the last time I was here.
Oh, stop. You're making me perspire.
Oh, if the rains would only come.
They were praying at the temple as I drove by this morning. Had half a mind to join them.
In prayer? I didn't know you had faith in anything, Tom.
Oh, now that's where you're wrong. I've got faith in a lot of things. For instance,
For instance?
Well, for instance, Queen Victoria.
That old statue?
Oh, to you, she's only a statue. But to me, she's an old friend. A living reminder of the fine, brave days before the world went to sea. When London Bridge did its falling to a dance step, not to the threat of tomorrow's bombs. When every American was a millionaire, or about to be one. And people sang in Vienna. There she stands in her cast iron petticoat, unconcerned about wars, dictators, and appeasement, as serene as ever. God bless her.
The world's not as bad as you think, Tom.
No? Only trying to commit suicide as fast as it knows how.
I don't agree with you. Here in Ranchipur, we're trying to make it a little better.
The whole world?
Our world. India in general, Ranchipur in particular.
I rather like the old place just as it is.
You see it as an artist. I see it as an Indian. My people are crying for help. After centuries of disease and poverty and superstition. The American girl and her mother from the mission.
They're not stopping here, are they?
Mother, please don't. I'll die if you do.
Oh, don't be silly.
But if he wanted to know us, he'd have called before this.
Hold the reins. Is the Honorable Mr. Ransom in?
I'll find out, Ma'am.
Please.
Oh, Mr. Ransom, do forgive me for intruding. I'm so anxious to have you come to a little garden party I'm giving this afternoon for Lily Huggett-Egbury and some of the nicer English people.
Well, the Major and I had planned some tennis for this afternoon, and,
Oh, well, I'm sure that Mr. Safti won't mind giving up his tennis just this once.
Well, I'm afraid that's for Mr. Ransom to decide.
There, you see, it's all settled. 5 o'clock for tea. We'll be looking for you.
Now, why did I say I'd go?
You didn't. She did.
So nice to see you, Lily.
Thank you, my dear.
Oh, you know Major Craddock and Mrs. Palmer, of course.
How do you do?
Mrs. Huggett-Egbury.
How do you do?
Lily, Tom Ransom is dropping in later.
Tom Ransom. Oh, my dear, what a catch for you. I mean, my dear, a real Puka Sahib and one of the very best county families in all England.
But being an American, of course, that means nothing to me.
No, of course not. Oh, how do you do?
Well, how are you?
This
I'm so
is
glad
a
to see
surprise.
you.
How do you do?
Fine, thank
well,
you.
Well, how nice seeing you.
I wish you'd do something about that dreadful Smiley woman.
Yes, dear.
Look at her. She just does it to annoy me.
Does what, dear?
Sits there and looks so, so Middle West in front of my guests. I wish you'd do something about it.
What can I do, dear?
Well, you're head of this mission, aren't you?
Yes, but it's her veranda, my dear.
Here comes Mr. Ransom.
Hello, Tom.
Oh, hello, Aunt Phoebe. How do you keep so cool in this infernal heat?
No hotter than Iowa in good corn weather. All dressed up fit to kill. Where are you going?
Across the way. Oh, are you going over?
No, sirree. We've got a gentleman's agreement. She keeps her nose out of the mission school, and I don't have to go to her parties.
You might call it an armed truce.
Oh, are you home?
Hello, Tom. No, darling.
No. What do you think you are, a 2-year-old? Working after hours in this heat. My husband's a fool.
Oh, no, Ma. You know what it says in Scripture about calling people fools. I had to keep one of my pupils after school. He'd been throwing spitballs. You'll be staying to tea, of course.
Oh, he can't. He's going to the party. Oh. Better hurry up, Tom. Mrs. Simon will be climbing that hedge after you.
Here I go.
So glad you could come. It's my last tea this season. We'll be leaving for Simla before the rains. You'll be going too, of course?
Oh, naturally. No one stays in Ranchipur during the monsoon.
No, only about 5 million people.
Well, you know what I mean. Proper people. The kind of people one knows. It's so seldom out here one meets anyone from one of the real county families. Of course, you've heard the Eskeths have just arrived.
The Eskeths?
Lord Esketh. The Lord Esketh.
Oh, Fern! Fern! I'm coming. Oh, there you are. Fern. Mr. Ransom's here.
Put some powder on your nose.
Keeps melting off. If you think he'd marry me, you're on the wrong track.
Why, how dare you insinuate that I...
All right, all right. Let's not argue. Okie doke, I'm ready.
Okie doke. I don't know where you pick up all this American slang.
Mr. Ransom.
Mr. Ransom, this is our little girl, our little daughter, Fern.
How do you do?
I've wanted so much for you two to know each other. May I get you a drink?
Oh, you're very kind.
I'll send one of the boys.
You know what Mother means by a drink, don't you?
I beg your pardon?
Lemonade.
Oh,
Wouldn't you like something a little stronger?
I see that my reputation has preceded me.
Father keeps a little brandy in case of snake bites and things.
Snakes have been a bit trying this afternoon.
I'll get some for you.
You think your mother would mind very much if we...
Mother, she wouldn't mind.
Thanks very much. A little water, please. Yeah. Oh, I hope I'm not keeping you from your guests.
Oh, they're not my guests. That's Mother's idea of high society. They're all excited because you're here.
Really? Should I be flattered?
Oh, they say dreadful things about you.
What sort of things?
That you're a drunkard and a bounder and a remittance man. They'll hang around you just the same because your father was an earl. Suppose I shouldn't be talking like this.
Why not? I don't mind.
I don't care what they say about you, because I know what you're really like. I've watched you from my window every time you've come to the Smileys. Sometimes I think you're the only person in Ranchipur I don't hate. You see, Mr. Ransom, I've wanted to know you for a long time, but not this way. Not with Mother throwing me at your head.
Oh, my dear child.
Oh, I'm not a child. I'm over 18. I'm a woman. I need your help. I'm in trouble.
Trouble?
Yes, Oh, it's so hard to tell you.
No, it needn't be. I understand.
That's why I had to come to you. You see,
Perhaps I can help you. Is there a man mixed up in it?
No. Except you. Oh, Mr. Ransom, I've got to get away from here. I can't stand it any longer.
What's the matter?
Well, they want to run my life for me. They want me to go on living this phony life they think is so wonderful. And Mother pretending we're not just missionaries. You will help me, won't you?
Oh, what could I do?
Well, you know all about the world and women and things like that.
Oh, well, if it's advice you want.
Oh, no, I need more than advice. I haven't any money.
Well, I couldn't do that.
Well, I only need a little. Just enough to get me to where I want to go. I'll pay you back, honestly, every cent.
Oh, it isn't the money, my child.
I told you I'm not a child.
Look here, I can't be directly responsible for what might happen to you. Don't you realize the awkward position you might put me in?
I didn't think you cared about respectability.
Well, I don't.
Well, neither do I. I just want everything there is to be had out of life.
Well, that's all very well, but it's not that easy.
I'm not looking for things to be easy. I just can't stand it here any longer. I've got to get away.
Where would you go?
On the stage?
On the stage?
Well, why not? I'm not bad looking. And I have very nice legs.
Oh, yes. Very nice.
Oh.
Miss Simon and I, we were just talking about the theater.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's a messenger here from the palace.
Oh, yeah?
From Her Highness, Ransom Saab.
I'm afraid I'll have to leave your delightful party if I'm going to be on time.
Oh, my dear boy, that's quite all right. I understand perfectly. When the palace calls, we must drop everything and obey.
Oh, well, you're very kind.
Charming, isn't he?
I think it was a mistake inviting him. Everyone knows his reputation with women and rum.
Don't be provincial. Do you ever get us invited to the palace? Do you?
Good evening, Your Highness.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ransom. I'm glad you could come.
To see you again is one of the few thrills left in life, Your Highness.
You said that as if you meant it.
I do mean it.
Come along. I'll introduce to you our guests of honor. Lady Esketh.
Hello, Edwina.
Why, Tom.
We heard of a person named Ransom living in Ranchipur, but I never dreamed it was you.
How nice that you know each other.
Oh, yes. We're old friends.
Albert.
Yes?
This is Tom Ransom. You've heard me speak of him. My husband.
Yes, yes, Ransom, of course. How do you do? Your Highness, I've just been telling Mr. Banerjee.
Banerjee.
Yes, when I first visited India, I was amazed to find that you people had so many of the modern conveniences. Yes, and the blessings of civilization.
Oh, thank you. We flatter ourselves to be jolly well abreast of the times.
Your Highness, dinner is served.
Shall we go?
Now that you've met one of your own kind, I suppose you'll be grand for days.
Why do you always make a point of criticizing men like Tom Ransom? Because he happens to be a gentleman?
Well, if he's a gentleman, why is he living here in India? He's got plenty of money.
I don't imagine Tom has ever thought of money one way or another in all his life.
One of those radicals, eh?
How do you like the Maharani?
Tough egg, isn't she?
I call her the last queen. You know, nowadays when queens do everything in their power to look like housewives, she still dresses the queen and acts it.
Here goes one of the most expensive figures in the British Empire.
General, for years I've been telling you never to draw to an inside trade.
Your Highness, would you mind if I showed Lady Esketh the palace?
Of course not. Need a guide?
No, thanks. I know my way about.
Good luck.
Your Highness, my apologies for being late. You received my message?
Was it cholera?
No, just old-fashioned colic.
Good. Get in the game. I need some competition.
Now, look here, Your Highness. Your Highness, I'm willing to pay £5,000. £10,000 for that chestnut stallion and 2 mares.
It is a generous offer, but Azoka is not for sale.
Oh, come now. Anything's for sale if the offer's high enough.
I'm afraid you don't understand.
Your Highness drives a hard bargain. I mean to have that stallion. Name your price and I'll meet it, whatever it is.
It is not a question of price, Lord Esketh. You have seen other horses in my stables, almost as perfect as Azoka. Now, please let me make you a gift of a stallion and 2 mares.
Gift? Well, if Your Highness really means it, you're very kind.
You understand, of course, I cannot ship them during the heat.
Of course. Thank you.
That's a Rembrandt. And that's a Buddhist prayer wheel. On that, I suspect, was bought from a street peddler in Naples. And this was bagged by the old lady herself, and on foot, too. If that means anything to you.
Frankly, it doesn't. I'd like some air.
Well, it's beginning to look like rain at last.
You haven't told me what you're doing here.
Oh, I came out here 7 years ago to paint the Maharaja's portrait. Been here ever since.
Not a very exciting life, is it?
No. Is yours?
Now and then.
What brought you all the way up here to Ranchipur?
The Maharaja's horses. Albert's very fond of horses. The only thing he is fond of except money.
And have you become fond of money, too?
Passionately.
Used to be just excitement.
You can't live on excitement alone. We found that out, didn't we?
I didn't mind.
I did. I minded washing my own stockings, going without breakfast, and only being able to afford the hairdresser once a week.
Yeah, perhaps I was selfish. Well, there was a time, mind you, and I hope you won't blush, when I seriously thought of marrying you.
Why, Tom, how touching. I never suspected.
Well, we've come a long way since then. A long way apart.
What do you mean?
You'd know if you'd lived here a while. See, in Ranchipur, the important things in life are the elemental things, such as crops, starvation, and weather. In Europe, when someone says it looks like rain, in all probability is trying to make polite conversation.
But here, where people die as easily as they're born, they're speaking in terms of life and death. You'll see what I mean if you're still here when the rains come. You'll see them overnight. From the fields, the gardens, and the jungles. From a parched and burning desert into a mass of green that seems to live, to writhe and to devour the walls, the trees, and the houses. Well, I hope I'm not keeping you up.
Tom, you've changed. You didn't used to be such a windbag.
You haven't changed.
Have not?
No. You're still a lovely creature.
Am I?
It's exciting seeing you again.
May I have a cigarette? So you've forgotten.
Sorry. Here it comes.
Any idea where they've gone?
I'm afraid it's a big palace, that they might be anywhere.
Your husband's been looking for you, Lady Esketh. I think he wants to go home.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Randy?
No, thank you. Who's the pale copper Apollo?
Major Safti.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Well, don't waste your time. He's a surgeon and a scientist. Any interest he might have in romance is purely biological.
You make him sound even more exciting.
Well, there you are. I've been looking for you everywhere. You ready to go?
Whenever you are.
I'm ready now. I think I'm going to be ill. It's this confounded climate.
I'm sorry, Albert. Mr. Ransom tells me there's a doctor in Ranchipur who's not at all bad. If you're no better in the morning, we'll send for him.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Hello.
Well, What are you doing here?
I've been away from home. I'm never going back.
You can't do that.
Why not?
Because I told you, I can't take the responsibility.
I know, but since we talked this afternoon, I figured out another way that you can help me.
Yes? What way? Well?
I want you to let me stay here tonight.
Have you any idea what you're saying?
Of course I have. Don't you see? Then everyone would think that... Well, anyway, there'd be such a scandal I'd have to leave Ranchipur. They'd send me away.
That's all very well. But why, in the name of the million gods of India, do you have to choose me?
Well, it shouldn't matter a bit to you. Your reputation is already so tarnished. Please. Don't you dare laugh at me.
Oh, listen to me, child. What's this? You're soaking wet.
What of it? And I'm not a child.
Well, anyway, you're going straight home.
I'm not going home. I'm never going home again.
Do you want me to put you out by force?
You won't. I'd make a scene. You're the kind of a man who hates scenes.
Well, at least I can get you some dry clothes. Come with me. Don't be afraid.
Oh, I'm not afraid. I'm just cold.
Now change into these. Find plenty of towels in the bathroom. Give yourself a good rub down. Oh, I'll be in the other room. It's very becoming.
I don't believe my old school tie ever appeared to better advantage.
I'm so sorry. It looks so old and frayed, and I couldn't find a belt.
It's quite all right.
It would be easier if I could call you Tom.
There's nothing I'd like better, Fern.
Don't you feel anything at all about me?
I'd be a fool if I didn't. You're lovely, Fern. Not nearly so much of a child as I thought.
There's somebody there, behind the blind.
John! John! I suppose you heard everything that went on. If you breathe one word of this, I'll feed you to the crocodiles.
Yes, sir.
As long as you're up, you can drive Miss Simon home. Get the car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who was it? Have they gone?
He's gone, all right. And you're going, too.
All right. I'll go now. Peacefully. May I come and see you once in a while?
Why, of course.
See, that's important because I guess I love you. If I didn't, I wouldn't be going home now.
Has the doctor come yet?
He's with his lordship now, my lady.
I want to see him before he goes.
Yes, my lady.
Don't take that. Bring another cup.
Yes, my lady.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
I'm Myrna Esketh.
Oh.
I hope I did right asking especially for you. Maybe I'm imposing on you.
Oh, on the contrary, Lady Esketh, it's my duty. There's nothing seriously wrong with your husband, just a bad congestion. But his blood pressure is much too high.
No unpleasant Asiatic microbes.
No, just simple European overindulgence. I prescribed some tablets for him, and he should be kept very quiet.
Won't you stay for some tea?
I'll have to get this filled at the hospital.
Bates can take it. Do sit down, Major.
You're very kind.
Frankly, it's rather a treat for me to have someone to talk to. I expect it will be deadly dull now that Albert's going to be ill. I think this tea is cold. I'll send for some more.
No, don't bother. I like it that way.
Sugar?
No, thank you.
What would you prescribe for a patient about to die of galloping boredom?
I imagine the Maharani will see to it that you're properly entertained.
How?
Well, the usual routine with guests, I believe, is to show them first the waterworks, then in order the narrow gauge railway, the hospital, the zoo, and the asylum for the insane.
Well, how exciting.
Yes, isn't it?
And the Maharaja has promised me my choice of horses. I wonder if he'd mind if I also chose my escort.
Ranchipur is famous for its horsemen. I'm sure you'll have no trouble in finding a suitable escort.
Do you ride, Major?
Whenever I have the time, which isn't very often.
Don't you ever take a day off?
I'm willing to make an exception.
It's very gallant of you, Major.
If you don't mind waiting until after working hours. Besides, it's cooler then.
I wouldn't dream of interfering with your work. The insane asylum?
No, this is the Maharani's music school.
Oh.
Major Saab, Mama Saab, how are you, I hope?
Would you care to look around?
I'd love to.
Lady Esketh would like to see the school.
Oh, yes, this way.
Mr. Das, the director of the school.
Thank you.
You like music?
Oh, I have a box at Covent Garden as a matter of course. Frankly, I like this sort better.
Mr. Das, is Gemma Singh here today?
Oh, yes. This way,
Good.
please. Gemma Singer, the Rajput singer.
What kind of song is it?
Oh, a love song. Oh, yes.
Do you know the song?
Yes. The words are traditional, but the music is improvised, free variations.
How do the words go?
Well, it's in the ancient language. The ceremonial language. I'm afraid I don't know it as well as I should.
Try.
It's a bit florid. That my lyre were of purest jade, with strings of fine-spun gold, that I might sing with merit of your beauty. Your hands hold my life, my being. Drop it, and I perish. But in your heart, my love has found a home, and it can never die.
But in your heart, my love has found a home, and it can never die.
It is a lot of sentimental nonsense, isn't it?
Hello, Miss McDade.
Oh, hello.
Where's Rama?
He's busy.
Didn't turn up yesterday.
What sort of a woman is Lady Esketh?
Lady Esketh? Why?
The Major brought her here yesterday to show her the hospital. He's out with her again today.
Well, you met her. What did you think of her?
I know her type. Many like her in Europe these days. Too many for its own good.
Well, I would say she's the one woman in Ranchipur that Rama shouldn't know.
Is Lady Esketh dining out tonight?
Yes, my lord. Her ladyship is dining at the Banerjees. Mr. Ransom is calling for her.
Oh. Why should I care who's calling for her? Go on, answer it.
Yes, my lord.
What's this?
Major Safti's orders.
I hope that blasted native knows what he's doing.
Major Safti is the head of the state medical department.
Filth.
Her ladyship will be ready directly. May I offer you a drink, sir?
Yes. Brandy and soda, and make it strong.
Yes, sir.
How's the patient this evening?
Much better, sir. Thank you.
Hello, Tom.
Oh, hello.
Good of you to come for me. Are we late?
No. There's plenty of time. Now, Mr. Banerjee's dinners always begin at the fashionable 8:30.
Here you've been having adventures.
I'm a victim of circumstances.
If you didn't drink so much, you wouldn't always be getting into trouble.
Well, at least my weakness is wine.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean.
Listen to who's moralizing. I suppose that comes from philandering around missions.
I never philander around missions. And I don't philander on hospitals either.
Don't be catty, Tom. I do believe you're jealous.
You know perfectly well I'm not jealous. If there ever was anything between us, we both know it's finished now. Dead and gone.
Then why do you come here and act drunk and dictatorial?
Because I see something happening I don't like.
Stop talking like a copybook. It's not becoming.
When are you leaving?
We plan to go tomorrow, but with Albert ill...
You're too ill to travel?
No.
Then why don't you go?
You are a beast, aren't you? Tom, we've double-crossed almost everyone in the world. Let's not star on each other.
I don't want to interfere, really. But Rama's my friend, and I don't like it.
If you only knew how wrong you are. He's the one man I've ever met I haven't been able to make an impression on. Are you sober enough to take me to the party?
Almost.
Hey! Hey! Have they gone yet?
Yes, my lord, they've just left.
Well, get me my dispatch case.
Yes, my lord.
Go on, get it. Don't just stand there. And the pen. Why are you standing there looking like a fool?
Your lordship didn't dismiss me.
Dismiss you? You're lucky I didn't dismiss you ages ago. I've put up with your infernal impertinence for 15 years. Don't stand there looking at me. If I want you again, I'll ring. Now, get out.
Yes, my lord.
Come here. Close those. I suppose you'd like me to die of malaria.
No, my lord.
Oh, get out.
Yes, my lord.
Well, just stand still. They won't attack if they're not provoked.
Welcome, Lady Esketh. Good evening, Mr. Ransom.
Some night you're going to fall flat on your face and people will begin to suspect that you drink. Good evening.
It's awfully kind of you to come, Lady Esketh. Of course, we are terribly upset about Lord Esketh that he can't be with us tonight. Hello, Ransom.
How do you do?
I believe you know almost everyone from the palace. You know Rashid Ali Khan, of course.
Yes.
And may I present Miss McDade, Lady Esketh.
Yes, we've met.
Yes, indeed.
I hope you're enjoying your stay, Lady Esketh.
Very much.
How soon do you expect to be leaving?
Oh, I'm in no particular hurry. I find it very pleasant here in Ranchipur. There's Major Safti. Excuse me. Good evening, Major.
Good evening. Now, Major Remington, Lady Esketh.
Could I have a word with you?
Certainly.
Forgive us.
Poor Lady Esketh. She's so frightfully upset about her husband.
To have this cocktail. It isn't as bad as it looks.
Do you know that your friends have been warning you to leave town?
Leave town? Why?
Why do you think? They feel I'm a bad influence on them.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't it? You're not afraid of me, are you, Major?
Well, of course not.
You wouldn't feel relieved if I left?
As a matter of fact, I'd miss you. I've enjoyed your company very much.
I was afraid you'd take that attitude.
What attitude?
Lying to me.
But I just told you
Don't
that...
bother to explain. You know perfectly well what I'm thinking. And I know what you're thinking. I've done everything but fall at your feet, and you haven't even blinked. So I think I will leave tomorrow morning.
Please don't leave on my account.
Not because of what might happen to you if I stay, but because of what might happen to me.
Well, it's all over. Nothing to worry about, not a thing. Just a slight tremor.
What's the matter with you? Standing there like dummies. Sail this way. Get through to that room.
Wire's down, of course. Mine go to the palace for orders.
Major.
So long, Miss McDade. They'll need us at the hospital.
Yes, my lord. But it's too late now. We're both pulling. You're afraid.
Good morning, Edwina.
Good morning.
Water's still rising. Look at Queen Victoria.
What's that frightful roar?
Barbarian, but not an English, you notice. That's India for you. They've been praying for the rains all spring, and now that they're here, they're praying for them to go away.
Might be just as well if we joined in. Look. It's a boat.
Well, I'm glad someone besides ourselves is alive. Hello. Well, why, it's the little Simon girl.
Your juvenile light alone? Come to snatch you from a watery grave. How sweet.
Come on, give me a hand. Easy now.
Thank heaven you're safe. I didn't close my eyes all night. I was afraid you'd be drowned.
And we know this is my son, Lady Esketh.
How do you do? We are glad to see you. If you hadn't come, we might have died of starvation. Or boredom.
Where did you find the Queen Mary?
Down the road while we were looking for my father.
I'm sorry, Fern.
I thought if you were all right, I'd take you back to the mission. It's safer there.
Yes, it ought to hold about two. One to paddle and one to bail. You two think you can manage it? It's time for several trips. I'll take you first.
I'm all right.
No more paddling for you, young lady, until you've had some rest. Now, come on.
I don't need any rest.
Come over here now and lie down. Yeah, fix this for you. Now, don't you worry about a thing. I'm going to take Lady Esketh, and then I'm coming back for you. In the meantime, you be a good girl.
I'm not in your way being here, am I?
You're not going to apologize for saving our lives, are you?
Well, that's only one of the reasons I came. I wanted you to know that you were in no danger.
Well, that's reassuring.
I mean for me. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but when they found out I'd been to your house, they wouldn't believe the truth.
Don't you worry about that.
Mother pretended to be sore, but I don't think she was really sore because, you see, if we got married, she could spend the rest of her life hobnobbing with high society in England.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I thought you'd like to know that you won't have to marry me. Unless you decide to change your mind.
That's a bit of luck. The rain's stopping. Hey, Banerjee, don't get impatient. I'll come back to you later. Hooray, Banerjee. Sabbat karahum jaldi aayenge.
Papi ke saath nahin jayenge.
Please. He says he'd rather die on this roof than suffer my unclean presence in the same boat. Ready?
I suppose so. I'd like to go by the city.
You mean by way of the hospital?
Don't you care enough to find out what's become of your friends?
Oh, don't be a fool.
Well, I'm sick of being British and pretending I'm not frightened and worried.
But we haven't time. I've got to bring the boat back for Fern.
I think it's absolutely nauseating the way you're leading that girl on. I've never seen such an obvious case of calf love in all my life. Face lights up like fireworks every time she looks at you. That's what you like, isn't it? That's why we didn't get on.
It is.
You always wanted a woman to treat you like a god. I treated you as if you were just as bad as myself.
Oh, so it's you. Well, where's Fern?
At the Banerjees. Going right back for her. The lady with the artillery is Aunt Phoebe.
How do you do?
Smiley, Lady Esketh.
Pleased to meet you. Now, why don't you go right on up the house?
Thank you.
Yes. Have you seen Homer?
No. We couldn't get through to the city.
Well, I suppose you'll be wanting something to eat.
No, thanks. I gotta get back for Fern.
Don't be a fool. Ain't you safe where she is?
No, not if that water rises again. Don't worry, I'll be all right. Goodbye.
Come on in and I'll get you some coffee.
Thank you.
Steady, old girl.
You've come back.
I'm sorry. I lost your boat.
नित्या सर्वगतः स्थाणुर्चलोऽयं सनातनः जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भवता वा न भूयात् अजो नित्या शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
I've done all I can.
आशान्ति जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नराणि यथा शरीराणि
I know I can count on you to help your queen rebuild our state.
नयनं चिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नयनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोष्यति मारुतः अच्छेद्योऽयं दाह्योऽयं क्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतः स्थाणुर्जलोऽयं सनातनः नयनं चिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नयनं दहति पावकः न शयनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोष्यति मारुतः अच्छेद्योऽयं दाह्योऽयं क्लेद्यो शोष एव च नित्यः सर्वगतः स्थाणुर्जलोऽयं सनातनः नयनं चिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नयनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोष्यति मारुतः
My good and loyal friends, Ranchipur has been struck a cruel blow. The weakness in our national character has been that we are inclined to blame catastrophe on the gods and fail in our duty. I don't propose to let that happen here. We must call out all our strength, all our resolution, all our courage, if we are to bring our people to safety. Each of you must do his part. I have chosen you because I know you will not fail me. I proclaim a state of emergency to exist in Ranchipur. Rashid, your police will work with the army.
Yes, Sarkar.
What is it, Major?
It has come sooner than I expected. Several cases of the plague in the sweepers' quarters. On top of that, half the water in Ranchipur must be polluted.
Do what you can to keep the plague from spreading. Burn down the whole quarter if you must. The rest of you know your duty. Ransom, I want you to stay. Give me a cigarette. I said I could depend on this little group. I meant you, too.
I don't know why, Your Highness.
Because you are one of us. I need a personal aide de camp, someone I can depend on to carry out my orders and use his own head whenever necessary. Do you think you can do it?
If you think I can.
Would you mind sitting down? Or doing anything but just standing there? I'm sorry. Don't mind me. It's just my foul disposition. Come on and play me a hand at Russian Bank.
I don't know how.
What's the matter?
Nothing really. It's because I'm so glad. Last night he came back for me. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. His face was so tired and so kind. He was glad, too. I could tell. And he tried to smile, but he was too worn out. He just fell asleep in my arms like a little boy. I felt he belonged to me. I never wanted the night to end.
You have got it badly, haven't you?
I suppose so.
What's that?
They're dynamiting part of the city.
You know what you've picked out for yourself, don't you?
Yes.
Then there's no use warning you.
No.
Look here, you don't expect him to marry you.
Not unless he wants to. Of course, if he would. But I'll do whatever he wants.
Tom's been a selfish brute all his life.
What would you do if you were in my place?
I wouldn't be in your place. I'd never let any man mean that much to me. Look here. You're a nice child. I'll do anything I can to help you. I only had a black 8.
Hello!
Well, what's this? Barnum Lieutenant Bailey's come to town?
Yeah, all right, eh?
What's this, an invasion?
Well, I'm afraid we'll have to turn our place into a barracks. So many of the children were left homeless.
Well, there's always room for a few more. Come on in, kids. Come on.
Come on, children. This is the way.
Come on in. Hurry up now. Come on. Come in. Come in. Say. You'll have to do some foraging for me. I didn't expect to have to feed an army. Miss Simon, take him out and show him where to clean up. Oh, hurry up. Hurry up now. Go on out there. Well.
Yeah.
I bet you got your feet wet.
No, Ma, don't
Let me
worry.
see.
I'm all right.
I mean, just as I thought. Now, you sit right down in that chair and change your socks.
Yeah, all right. Oh, wait a minute. I have a message for Fern.
Here.
You're to come back with me, eh?
I'll get my coat.
The worst mess I've ever heard of. Are you ready? Every bed in the hospital's filled and not half enough doctors and nurses to go round. Now that Maharani sent out a call for volunteers.
Goodbye, Weena. Goodbye, Fern.
Did you ever ride an elephant?
Next, please. Your name?
Sitabai.
Experience?
High school training in hospital work.
Report to Miss Go, second floor. Next, please. Your name?
Edwina Esketh.
Experience?
No experience.
Assigned to probationer duty. Wait over there, please.
Next, please. Your name?
Rarabai.
Experience?
Yes.
All right, take him away. Thank you, Captain. What is she doing here?
She volunteered.
Why is she doing that kind of work?
She's had no experience.
Lady Esketh is a very intelligent woman.
She's not stupid.
It might be worth your time to give her some quick training. She ought to be capable of ward duties.
Yes, Major.
Wait, I'll do that for you.
Thank you. It is heavy.
Get your tray and we'll make the rounds. Laying a hand on their head doesn't really help much, except that it gives them courage. You see, they know I'm of high caste. For centuries, they've been made to step aside so their shadows won't fall on us and pollute us. Call the porters.
They look at you so, as if they trusted you.
They have no one else to trust. You've done a wonderful thing coming here like this. And it isn't easy, especially if you've never done it before.
It's funny how you get used to things. I don't even get sick anymore, as I did 20 times the first day.
And yet you stayed.
Yes, I stayed.
Why? You don't have to answer. Just remember that you're in constant danger. Don't forget to use plenty of disinfectant. We mustn't let anything happen to you. You're too valuable.
Durga, got a call from the hospital for more linen, 250 pairs of sheets. This will give you authority to take what you want from the Rajputana Textile Company. If Mr. Motilal, the manager, objects, send him to me.
Yes, sir.
I shall introduce him to my pet lions who will feed on his liver.
Yes, sir. Achao. Achao. I bring the brandy, sir.
Ah, the brandy. Take it over to the hospital.
All of it?
Yes, all of it.
Yes, sir. Achao.
But don't think I'm reforming.
Achao.
When this is over, I'm going on the biggest, longest, most magnificent bat in the history of civilization. Make a note of that.
Yes, Mr. Ransom.
Abhinehi.
It's good to see you, General.
I came as soon as the weather was clear enough for flying. Your Highness, the Viceroy has asked me to convey to you his deepest sympathy, not only in his official capacity, but as an old and sorrowing friend. May I add my own?
I am grateful to the Viceroy, but more than sympathy, I need cooperation.
His Excellency also asked me to assure you that the British government stands ready to help in any way it can.
Thank you, General. I knew I could count on the Viceroy and yourself.
I take off in the morning to make a personal report to His Excellency. Oh, by the way, I have room for one passenger if there's anyone you care to send.
Yes, I think there is. Ransom, I'd like to speak to you.
Yes, Your Highness.
Thank you, General. I'll let you know.
Thank you.
What is Lady Esketh doing at the hospital?
Every conceivable, filthy and drudging task.
Yes, I suppose Miss McDade would have seen to that. But why is she there?
She told me she wanted to help.
But that isn't the real reason.
No.
The English are an odd people. I admire them, but I don't pretend to understand them.
The English are a sentimental people, and very much ashamed of it.
We had plans for Major Safti, he and I. I won't be here long. I have no children, so I always wanted them. Before he died, he named his successor, a man whose blood, sympathies, and training fitted him for the responsibility of guiding the state of Ranchipur. Did you know that?
No.
No alien influence must enter his life. He must remain dedicated to his cause. Would it hurt him so much to give her up?
For a while, yes. But he's young. He'll get over it, I'm sure.
I want to do the right thing. I'd trample her without mercy. But then, of course, I was brought up in the hills, where charity is a sign of weakness. I only learned tolerance and humanity after I married. I want to do as he would have done. She is a bad woman, isn't she?
Not so much bad as unhappy. Once, long ago, Edwina took a wrong path, and ever since, she's either been too proud or too stubborn to turn back. In many respects, she's like Your Highness.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that she's outspoken, intelligent, has no particular use for any other women. Unless they're over 70. But Your Highness is the younger of the two. Her kind of civilization is on its way out.
That's exactly what makes it impossible. Tell her I'm sending her on the plane tomorrow. How long since you've been to bed?
Oh, perhaps a day or two. I don't remember.
After you've seen Lady Esketh, get some sleep. You've been a real help, believe me.
Come in. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Ever tried to curl your hair without a curling iron?
No.
Alcohol's a precious commodity these days, not to be used for purposes of mere vanity. Sit down. On Satya's bed. She's my roommate, a Norch dancer. Been hearing dreadful things about you. Seems you've become a shockingly useful citizen.
Can't help myself. It's a conspiracy.
Why so glum?
Why so cheerful?
I'm young again, that's why. I feel exactly as I did the day of my first real dancing party, when I was 12. I remember I had a pink taffeta dress. Hideous thing, really, but I thought it was a love. And that little beast of a Joe Cumberland, the one that's in the cabinet now, spilled strawberry jam on it. I tried to scratch his eyes out. The authorities intervened.
Edwina, I'm afraid I've come to spill jam on your party dress.
What do you mean?
The Maharani is sending you away in the morning.
No, I won't go.
You'd better. She means it.
No, Tom. I thought it all out, and this time I know I'm right. I must be right. Believe me, Tom. I'm in love for the first time in my life. Completely, honestly in love.
I believe you.
So you can tell the Maharani I won't go.
Yeah. She'll probably have you shot. She can, you know.
I'll risk it.
And will you risk destroying him?
I won't destroy him. He loves me, I'm sure of it.
That's why you must go. Let's try to look at this thing realistically. The Maharani is giving Rama his choice. He can have Ranchipur or you. He can't have both.
You're asking me to give up the only real chance for happiness I've ever had. Don't get me started. I hate scenes. 6 o'clock. I'm on duty. Cheerio, Tom. You've done your duty like a good little soldier.
I couldn't sleep. I had to come and talk to you. Listen. Oh, that's a good sign. It means that life is going on again. It means we're going to win. Last night, for the first time, there were fewer new cases instead of more. You look tired.
I'm not really.
This is the only chance we have to talk to each other. It wasn't true what I said about not being able to sleep. I set the alarm clock.
You shouldn't. You get little enough rest.
There are all kinds of rests. This is better than sleeping. Tom tells me that you're leaving today.
Yes. By request.
It's probably just as well. I go through torture every moment because you're in danger here. Nothing must happen to you now.
Rama.
What's the matter?
Nothing. It just makes me so happy to hear you say that. I never thought when I first met you. It seemed so long ago. That you'd ever say anything like that to me.
I wouldn't have said it then. Not to the woman I knew then. No, I think you're someone different. Please don't think that I'm just being mystical and Indian, but I can't connect you with her. That woman I met at the summer palace, so shiny and glossy and so crafty for what she wanted. Oh, yes, I knew what you wanted. And I was tempted. That's why I stayed for a cup of lukewarm tea, which I hate. And you were trying so hard to make me believe you were respectable and inexperienced. But wait, I don't think much of respectability. I think a great deal more of truth. Maybe that's why I hesitated then. And later when I pretended I didn't find you exciting. Something held me back. I must have seen the other woman within you. The one that came here, scrubbed floors and emptied slop pails and fought nausea and weariness and fear. The real woman. You see, it would have been like taking a counterfeit instead of waiting for the real coin. I wanted you to know what I felt because I think so much of you that I can risk making a fool of myself. Maybe in your heart you're laughing at me.
No. No.
Well, now you know my secret. We'll let the Maharani send you away. Then when the worst is over here, no matter where you are, I'll come after you.
You leave Ranchipur?
Yes. Yes, we'll go to some other city where I can set up a practice. Calcutta, Madras, or the Malay states, where we can live our own lives together.
You leave all this, knowing what it's meant to you. Knowing what you do of me. No. Just hold me a little while.
You're not well. You have a fever.
No. No. I'm just tired.
Take over in the ward.
How is she?
Rama's with her now.
She said word she wanted to see me.
Yes, I know.
I want to give her another injection in about half an hour.
Yes, Major.
Miss Simon, you may go in now.
I don't know what to do, Tom. I don't know what to do. She won't fight. She hasn't any will to live. I don't know what to do.
Steady.
I'm supposed to be a doctor. I'm supposed to help people to fight for life. And I want her to live more than I want to live myself. I tried to tell her that she must fight. I couldn't. I couldn't speak. I'm all gone inside. Stay with me, Tom. I need you.
Rama, this won't do. You've got to get a hold of yourself.
It's no use. I can't.
We're different. Deep down, where it matters.
I'm an Indian. I can't be calm and unemotional. I want to tear my clothes and wail like Banerjee.
You're not Banerjee. You're a man. You're a doctor.
No. I've failed. I can't save her.
Rama. Rama. Rama! Listen to me. If you lose your way now, you'll never find it again. Think of the Maharani and your duty. Of the Maharaj and all he'd planned for you. Think of the people who worship and respect you. To them, you're a symbol. Something clean and courageous. It's been born in the darkness and filth that was India. You are India. The new India. Don't betray all of us who have faith in you.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'm all right now. It won't happen again. Thank you.
But I can't take them.
Don't be an idiot. If you and Tom have children, your son might be the Earl of Nolan. He'd have a wife. And she could wear them to boring dinner parties. Tell how they'd been left to her by a shameless wench called Lady Esketh, who died in Ranchipur during the great disaster of 1938. We're such snobs at home. We like stories like that. I suppose this is the way it feels to repent and get religion. Giving away my worldly goods. Anyway, it's a nice feeling. Hello, Tom. Don't look so unhappy. I'm not.
Rama says if he'll only fight.
What's there to fight about? Has anything changed since the last time we talked? Would you mind, my dear? Got a ring for Fern. Does she like sapphires? There's a condition attached. You'll have to marry her. You said you'd do anything.
Yes, but I'd be no good for her.
Oh. Stop bragging. She's mad about it. She thinks you're a god. That's what you've always wanted. We have had such foul luck, you and I. But You've picked a winner at last. Ask him to come in.
As soon as you're well, we'll get away from all this.
Of course.
I've thought it all out. We won't be running away from anything, because there won't be anybody else in the world but ourselves. We'll have each other.
Yeah.
Just you and I. Up to Kashmir, down the Ganges to Bengal, then perhaps in a little boat from Calcutta, through all the islands of the East. The Spice Islands, the Coral Islands, and all those places with names like magic spells. Just you and I. Nothing else will matter, will it? Will it? Edwina. Edwina. Edwina.
This time it has been built to stand as long as you live and your children and your children's children. The time is here, Rama. Your people are waiting. What is it, Rama? What do you hear?
Nothing, Your Highness. Only a song.
They're waiting, Rama.